From this moment on, you will now be known as Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Welcome, brother Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Enough with the Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh! Well.
So what's up, everybody? This is D from Brooklyn coming to you with a midweek update. If you saw any of my previous videos, most specifically my last one, you'll see that I had to remove quite a few soft coral from the tank because they were outgrowing most of the other pieces that I had in the tank, and I brought them to a local fish store where I actually got this beautiful beauty here. Beautiful green acro, which will probably be a great addition to the frag tank. One of the other things that I got, which we actually put quite the value on, but I got this lovely piece of dry rock. As you can see, one of the things I like about dry rock is I can drill it. This one already has natural holes in it, which are perfect for frag plugs. I'm going to use it in my main tank after I get it cleaned off. I'm going to seed it with live bacteria by putting it in an already established tank once I get it cleaned off and brushed off of any debris. One thing about dry rock is you don't have to worry about any piggybacking organisms that may be on there, although depending on how long it's been dry, that can be still possible. Even little things like this, it's hard to see, but if you can notice that orange patch, in some rock that could be the remnant of sponge, it can be the remnant of dead coral and things like that. So you want to take a brush and give it a good scrubbing, and I'll show you how I do that actually. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I treat this rock, even though it's dry rock. And one of the beautiful things about having the basement and when you renovate it yourself is I made sure I had a good deep sink to do all my cleaning of any aquarium or utility type things, and I keep a brush dedicated just for cleaning rock. I don't use this brush for cleaning the house. I don't use it for anything else but this. I give it a good scrubbing. Get any loose dirt, debris. And if you can see now, you'll see there's tons of dust and things coming off the rock. That's something you don't want to put in your tank. And it'll give you a good idea of the true color of the rock. Let me just clean one more piece off. And here's the finished product. Put my brush here and let it dry. But one of the things about it also is you never get the true color of the rock when it's dry. But when it's wet, you get a really good idea of the dark spots, light spots, and little crevices. And it's a nice piece of rock. So I'm going to put it up in my main tank and let it stand up for a while and let it get nice and seated. I may actually replace one of the rocks in my frag tank with this. One of the rocks that I have a big piece of pavona on, I actually want to make more of a plate type surface so that I can put multiple frags on it. And I'll probably have to break the rock that it's on to get it to come off of that rock, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So okay, if you look at that piece in the corner, that is a very large piece of tufa. It's about 6 inches tall, so I'll probably have to break that top piece off to get that rock off. I'm gonna have to remove that rock and do it you know, just to get good surface area to mount plugs, because as you look at the tank, I'm pretty much out of space to mount anything. So I figure if I can get that piece like a flat surface, or unless I move one of these other pieces over there, like if I got some darker, you know, area corals, maybe I'll do that. Freddy, move off of that, Montipora. You'll even actually notice people that have seen a lot of the videos as I made a few changes. I moved this Monty. I kind of broke it in the process. You can see that white portion. I took it off the frag rack and I mounted that piece on this rock because I want it to grow out. And on the frag rack, it pretty much just encrusted on the plug itself. It's hard to see there, but it's encrusted on the plug, but didn't get any lateral growth. But I actually, when I cut the bottom off that plug so that I could use just the top, you know, the plugs have a bottom, I dropped it and that piece ended up being this piece that broke off. So I just mounted it to a spare piece of rock, which I put on this piece of dead acro over there, and we'll see how that goes. So worst comes to worst, I got an extra piece of Monty floating around. But this is how I just, you know, cultivate the tank. As I showed in the last video, I had to take a chisel to that piece because this Kenya tree can be really aggressive and take up quite a bit of space. So I've been pruning it and removing it wherever possible. And I know it's hard to see. Maybe I can give you a top shot. But if you look right there, there's a piece of, what is that, my chalice? Yeah, it's a purple chalice right behind the Kenya that I moved. I broke a piece and mounted it there. It's kind of hard to focus through this without getting that screen in the shot. Let me move that a little bit here so you can see. There you go. There's a good shot of the Monty. I mean the chalice. So got a beautiful purple chalice, and just rock management, for lack of a better phrase. The Kenya will move forward, but I found it not to move backwards, so that's pretty much a good place for the chalice to grow out. And Pavona for days. I moved that other Pavona. Where the hell did I put it? I forgot where I put it. Okay, I had it in the back, but it was like really bothering me that it was in that back corner, and I moved it up here where it'll get much better lighting and I'll get a lot more of my attention. Piece of leather coral that I had up there, I actually took over to Thousand Island Aquariums, one of my local guys that has a magnificent frag system, so he'll find a good home for it. And I'll use that little space to grow out this little piece of Pavona. And would you believe that little piece, don't mind my tank glasses a little dirty there, that little piece was grown from a dime size, like a fingernail size piece that was like fingernail size. If you look at a fingernail size piece, now it is like a colony in itself. So let me get this core acclimated and dipped and get it in the tank. Okay, well, there is the acro. It's a nice little piece. As you know, I always have to get everything small because of course I'm tight on real estate. But it is in here, acclimated here. And what I like to do also is I'll save the water that I originally got it in and test that water to compare the parameters. Just for future, I like to know the water level. I get regular pieces from Thousand Island Aquarium, so I'm pretty familiar with his water, and his growing parameters are pretty good. So I will get this guy out of here now. It's been in here for a while, and get it into the tank. Alright. Okay, after finagling a little bit, I got the piece in there. What I had to do is basically take an old frag plug like this and work it into my bio block. Underneath there is a bio block, so I wedge a little hole for the base of the frag plug that the acro's on to stick it in there, and now that bad boy should be pretty well and secure in there. You can see the bio block down there, which is an excellent media like base for your tank. Like if you're not going to have sand in the tank, that bio block is excellent for fostering bacteria to grow in the tank without using sand. There's no sand in this tank, so pretty much coral dominate everything in here. So keep posting, keep tabs, hit that subscribe button. We'll see how this bad boy does in here. There's always a question of how the coral gonna do in your different conditions from the store, and you can see from that plug, it's hard to see. I don't know if I can adjust this light here. Let me turn the blues down. Alright, give you a little shimmer of that green. you can see there's a ton of coralline on there, which is also anywhere I like to look at corals, or when I buy plugs, I look for the amount of encrusting coral growth on the plug itself, which is right there at the base. I always look to see if it's encrusting on the plug, because that means it's actually doing well and prospering in comparison to something just bleaching or hanging on. Now this other piece of coral up here, now maybe, I don't know if that's a stylo, maybe look more like a styro than an acro, but I'm no scientist, I make mistakes. But if you look at this plug over here, you'll see that it has not yet encrusted on the plug as much as this one has, which this one shows me that it's much more, focus baby, focus. It's much more, you know, comfortable with its prior surroundings and water parameters. So I'll keep a close eye on this one. Peppermint shrimp has come out to see what the hell I'm doing here. He comes out whenever I move rock. And I'll keep a tabs on this. There's Freddy coming to see what I've moved. You can see a lot of algae around the zoas and things, so I had to make some changes in the tank. I'm going to probably up my magnesium dosage also in here to try to promote a lot more calcification and a lot less algae growth. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. This was just a midweek update. Nothing big, but just wanted to show you how I had to take a lot of the Kenya. This area had Kenya that was over there. It had a lot of pieces. I had the piece that I broke off of there. I had a large piece that was up there. So now if you look at the tank, it's kind of just got its own little two main stalks here and the back, and the waving xenia, little pulsing xenia. You get a little balance in the tank. So aquatic gardening, if you will. So until next time, this is D signing off. Got to get changed up, get ready for work, late night tonight. And until next time, just keeping your sanity, keeping your aquariums, man. I'm out. Gonna leave you with a shot of this Pavona growing in darkness. See ya.